California's mayors come together for a statewide solution on homelessness, where they plan to find billions of dollars in new money.
The dialogue about environmental protection and protection of our natural resources is missing from both the national, state, and local stage.
A closer look at the state of our environment, the San Diego event that brings the science community together and sparks conversation about protecting all habitats.
I love braiding hair, making any woman look more beautiful. Braiding hair gives me some kind of happiness.
Feeling like a queen, the simple question that helped this refugee launch her own business in San Diego. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. From Tallahassee to the White House, there was an added intensity today in the debate over how to prevent school shootings. Students from Marjorie Douglas Stoneman High School were among those who traveled to Florida's capital to lobby for tougher gun laws. Yesterday, lawmakers refused to take up a bill that would have banned assault rifles. In Washington, survivors of past school shootings and parents of victims were among those who attended a listening session put on by President Trump and members of his cabinet.
All these school shootings, it doesn't make sense. Fix it. Should have been one school shooting and we should have fixed it. And I'm pissed because my daughter I'm not going to see again. She's not here. She's not here. She's in North Lauderdale at whatever it is, King David Cemetery. That's where I go to see my kid now.
But if he had a firearm, he wouldn't have had to run. He would have shot, and that would have been the end of it. And this would only be obviously for people that are very adept at handling a gun. And it's called concealed carry, where a teacher would have a concealed gun on them. They'd go for special training, and they would be there, and you would no longer have a gun-free zone.
President Trump also told the group he's open to strengthening background checks and raising the minimum age for purchasing rifles. The pilot of a small plane died this morning in a crash in Kearny Mesa. The plane had just taken off from Montgomery Field. It ended up in a dirt lot on Ruffin Road, a short distance away. No one on the ground was hurt. The plane was headed to Yuma, Arizona. Investigators have not said what might have led to the crash. The pilot's identity has not been released. The Port of San Diego is working on a plan to ease traffic on San Diego's waterfront. Some ideas will be shared tonight. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman is live near Harbor Drive with a preview. Matt?
Yeah, Ebony, that meeting is going on here right behind me at the Cesar Chavez building in Barrio Logan. We're out here near Harbor Drive where that study is being focused. Now, the port is studying San Diego's working waterfront. That area stretches from the 10th Avenue Marine Terminal in Barrio Logan to the National City Marine Terminal. The port wants to see how traffic can be improved in the area, but not just for cars, but bikes, people walking, bus, trolley lines, and even boats. The port says the study's goal is to come up with future transportation projects. This all coming as the port is in the middle of a redevelopment with the 10th Avenue Cargo Terminal.
The good news is that we're going to increase capacity for that terminal by 400% and create up to 500 new good jobs, but that will also create more truck traffic because we have to move that cargo on and off the terminal. So we already have a lot of traffic along this corridor, so we've been looking at it for quite some time, and now this is really taking the next step and spending some money.
Yeah, back out here on Harbor Drive now, you can see some traffic starting to build up. And hey, if you have a suggestion for how to fix it, the port wants to hear. And this meeting, like we said, it got started at 4 p.m. here in Barrio Logan, and it's going on until 7. If you can't make it, you can go online too to their website, They have an interactive map where you can actually select locations and make improvements. People have already been on there suggesting things like bike paths and expanded turning lanes. Out here in Barrio Logan, Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Thanks, Matt. In a crowded race to replace Congressman Darrell Issa, 5 Democratic candidates reached out to voters in Orange County. Last night's public forum at San Juan Hills High in San Juan Capistrano is the first one for Democratic hopefuls. Observers say the field of candidates needs to be narrowed to ensure one Democrat's chance at winning one of the top spots in the June primary.
I thought all the candidates honestly did extremely well. I thought all of their depth of knowledge was really pretty good. The thing is, for me, I think they're all really amazing people, and any one of them actually would make an amazing congressional representative for us. And obviously, there's only going to be one.
Next week, KPBS will take a closer look at the candidates in the race for the 49th. San Diego's mayor is in Sacramento lending his support to a statewide plan to reduce homelessness.
However, one of the biggest hurdles that we face is a lack of funding. All of the things that we are talking about and all of the innovative programs, they cost dollars. Cities simply do not have the resources on their own to tackle what is clearly a statewide crisis.
Kevin Faulkner joined mayors from California's largest cities to lobby for a plan that would set aside $1.5 billion for homeless services and housing. Cities would match the funds, bringing the total to $3 billion. Supporters want some of the state money to come from excess tax revenue outlined in the new state budget. Governor Jerry Brown has said that money should be saved for a future economic downturn. The city of San Diego is activating its inclement weather shelter program for people who are homeless. Father Joe's at 15th and Imperial will be the largest shelter open the next 2 nights. It can accommodate up to 250 people. The extra room is made available when weather forecasts include cold temperatures, rain, and wind. Well, a slight warm-up is expected as we get closer to the weekend. Julia Wyden has details in tonight's forecast.
After a cool day with passing showers, I think we're going to see some nicer weather for the weekend. Now, we do still have some brisk winds to get through, especially in the mountain and the desert regions. As we go into Thursday and Friday, we'll also have a couple of those showers still lingering around, but it'll all be worth it for that milder weekend ahead. Temperatures will get back to the mid and even upper 60s, a little bit warmer than what you would expect for this time of year, which will be a nice break after this cool week. Looking at satellite and radar, we have had plenty of clouds around, and of course those showers just nudging on through, mostly light to moderate rain with the occasional little bit of the heavier stuff coming on down. Onshore wind flow has been providing that wet weather all throughout Southern California, and I think we'll see that yet again as we head into Thursday and again for Friday potentially as well. But Friday will feature a little bit more in the way of those clouds breaking in, giving way to some sun through the afternoon. For tonight, we'll drop down to 50 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Looking around the region, we'll be at 39 in Oceanside, so a little cooler farther off to the north. 33 in Ramona. Let's check in on what we have happening as we go through tomorrow. And again, experiencing that onshore flow of moisture, allowing those showers to develop. Meanwhile, farther off to the north, an area of low pressure will drop through Nevada, and that's going to bring some snow to that region and up into the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevadas. So just be aware if you are going to be traveling in that direction. San Diego County going to be in the low 60s in Oceanside and 62 degrees in San Diego City. Looking to the weekend, again, getting a little bit milder as the jet stream shifts a bit farther off to the north. Here is your extended forecast at the coast. Temperatures will be increasing through the weekend up to 67 on Sunday. Inland will be at 70 degrees during that same time frame. So again, expect temperatures to be on the rise. 36 degrees for Thursday in the mountains with some showers and some brisk winds. And in the deserts, we'll see those temperatures increasing up to 70 by Sunday. Back to you, Ebony.
California lawmakers are putting off a decision on whether to make some recently expired water use decisions permanent. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson has details.
The State Water Resources Control Board wants to wait until April to decide whether to adopt a range of permanent restrictions on wasting water. Now, the restrictions include prohibitions on watering lawns so much that the water flows into the street, using a hose to wash down sidewalks, or using a hose without an automatic shutoff nozzle when you're washing a car. Now, the discussion comes as California endures another dry winter just 1 year after steady winter rains ended a 6-year drought. The U.S. Drought Monitor last week declared nearly half the state, all of it in Southern California, is now back in official drought conditions. State officials say California's winter so far is the third driest on record, and the lack of snow this winter will prevent the reservoirs from replenishing as the season continues. John Lehigh of the Department of Water Resources says about 80% of California is abnormally dry or in drought. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
More than 150 scientists and conservationists attended a state biodiversity symposium at the San Diego Natural History Museum this week. Among the major topics discussed were emerging threats to the environment and conservation successes. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy has more.
A sense of urgency filled the conference hall in Balboa Park as panel members shared their research on the dire impacts of pollution and climate change.
The dialogue about environmental protection and protection of our natural resources is missing from both the national, state, and local stage. And so we want to raise the profile of the state of our environment.
Michael Wall is Vice President of Science and Conservation at the San Diego Natural History Museum. He says one of the biggest concerns in the region is the growing number of invasive species, including grasses that fuel fires and beetles that are decimating trees.
They're outcompeting our native plants and animals, and it's causing destruction of our natural habitat, and it has these cascading effects. So if a bug kills a tree, well, that tree is no longer there to be host to the bird that nested in that tree.
Wall says the overall goal of the event is to bring the science community together to strategize solutions and to ignite a dialogue on the need for increased environmental protection. Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, students in Florida and across the country demand action on guns. Coming up at 7, right after Evening Edition on KPBS.
For more than 70 years, he preached the gospel to the world. Evangelical leader Billy Graham has died.
Christianity is not a white man's religion, and don't let anybody ever tell you that it's white or black. Christ belongs to all people.
Graham was 99. His family says he died of natural causes in North Carolina. Graham became a leading figure in Christianity in the 1940s, starting with his revival event in Los Angeles. He would hold similar events around the world, including several here in San Diego over the years. Graham's ministry also grew into a massive media empire. President Donald Trump and all living former presidents put out statements today on Graham's passing. There's a push in Sacramento to create a permanent memorial to the men and women who have died in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. A state senator from Santa Clarita introduced the bill, saying the bill would establish a committee to come up with a formal plan for the memorial. Supporters say they want to recognize the nearly 800 men and women who have died in the war since 2001. The process would be similar to the one that led to the Vietnam War Memorial at the state capitol. As President Donald Trump waits for money to build a massive border wall, a similar project is beginning east of San Diego. A company from Nebraska has been awarded $18 million to replace a 2-mile stretch of border wall in Calexico. It's the first border wall project under the Trump administration, aside from the border wall prototypes built in San Diego. The project in Calexico will feature a wall 30 feet high, which is significantly taller than the current barrier. It will take nearly a year to complete. A new data analysis released this month shows immigrants are more likely than native-born populations to start their own businesses. That includes Quintabel Bonker of Cameroon. Bonker says her longtime dream of owning a hair braiding business became a reality when she called about a space for rent in City Heights. KPBS reporter Taryn Minto brings us her story.
Open the door and it's big. I asked myself, can I really pay this bill? And something told me, be strong. God is gonna do something for you. Let's try it here. My name is Quintabel Bonker. People call me Queen. I'm a single mom. At 3 years old, she's called Daniela. She's my joy. I love braiding hair, making any woman look more beautiful. Braiding hair gives me some kind of happiness. Before, I have a little place like a booth. I rent a booth. I was paying like $600 every month. Then things was not going good. Passing by one day, I see this place for rent. And I call, and they say, oh, can I talk to the manager? The guy said, oh, I'm the manager. Where are you? I say, I'm right in my house. Can I talk to you? Yeah, I'm coming to see you right there. Boom, he come. A week later, he called me, can we do the contract? I said, yeah. I pay him the money, and I start painting, putting things together. I go downtown. I told them I want to get a business license, a braiding license. And they say, yeah. And they asked me to pay like $103 a year. And I got my license. I didn't take loan from nobody. I didn't take loan from no bank. I'm a refugee, so I don't want to go to a problem that I don't find myself loaning money. I don't know how to pay back. I don't know how the business is going to go through, you know. So my dream is I want to work hard and get what I want. We have war in my country, really serious war in my country right now. Even my family is not safe right now, but I thank God I'm here today so I can work hard to help my family back home, you know. They're killing people every day in my country, so it's very hard. Sometimes I go out there in the mall, in the supermarket, in the grocery store, I give out my card. Sometimes people passing around, they want to come in, or do you do braiding? Can I have your card? Sometimes I put on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Yelp, trying to make more customers. I want to be the best because you want people to say out there, oh, I went to Queen shop, my hair was very nice, you know. There's a competition, you want to do the best to make it look good. And doing hair is like, if you come to do your hair right now and you don't like it, you say, oh, Queen, this is not where I want it. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do it again to make you look happy because my best is to make you look beautiful. As God blessing me, I'm trying to make the shop like best I can, you know. But I'm really, really happy what is up to now and what is God is doing to me right now. I'm very, very, very happy. Yeah.
Bonker is now working with the local Business Improvement Association to help finance a hair braiding school out of her shop. That story was produced by KPBS reporter Taryn Minto. Community composting could be headed for a boom in San Diego. KPBS reporter, Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says businesses have a short window to get in on the action.
Last month, the City Council voted to issue permits to small-scale organic waste haulers. These businesses can collect kitchen scraps from restaurants or homes and transport them to community composting facilities. That keeps more organic waste out of the landfills, helping to advance the city's zero waste plan. Fidencio Reyna owns Mission Minded Moving and Hauling. He says he's eager to apply for one of the permits.
And with the food scrap hauling is just another way to expand out that type of business where I'm filling a void that needs to be filled.
Applicants for the organic waste hauling permits need liability and workers' comp insurance, and they have to act fast. The application deadline is March 11th. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Uber says if you're willing to walk a bit to share a ride, you can save money. The company has introduced its new express pool service today. It matches multiple customers going in the same direction in one ride. This is similar to Uber's existing pool option, but asks passengers to meet in a designated location. Uber claims it could save you up to 50% each trip. San Diego, LA, and Denver are the latest cities adding this option after San Francisco and Boston. If you need to ask for sugar from a neighbor, many people may feel more comfortable asking online. That's where Nextdoor comes in. It lets neighbors create private networks online to share resources and information about their communities. The San Francisco company says more than 180,000 neighborhoods across the U.S. and Europe use the site to share hyper-local content. KQED Newsroom, Thuy Vu, talks to the co-founder and chief architect of Nextdoor.
So how did the idea for Nextdoor come about?
So about 7 years ago, when we first started the company, we noticed a trend of social networks becoming more ubiquitous and mainstream. Facebook for your friends, Twitter to connect with people with whom you shared interests, and of course LinkedIn for your professional network. But we found it sort of strange that there was not a network where you could connect with the people right outside your front door. Your neighbors, the people that were most important to you in your local community. And so we set out to build a resource that connected neighbors to the information that was most relevant to them, and that's how Nextdoor came about.
In this world where the internet is so ubiquitous, as you say, there's a concern that people aren't interacting face-to-face more. So why is a neighborhood social network necessary? Why can't neighbors just go out and say, hey, hi, I'm your neighbor, let's chat face-to-face?
Yeah, I think we are combating a trend that has been happening in the United States, especially over the past 50 years, of a decline in community. In fact, one of the inspiring statistics that we saw when we started the company was that 29% of Americans claim to know very few of their neighbors, and 28% of Americans claim to know not a single neighbor by name. So you're talking about over half the population with very weak ties into their community. And so as strange as it may seem in our kind of modern technological world, to use an app to facilitate these in-person interactions in the community, it actually is happening. We feel like our job is best performed when an online interaction on Nextdoor leads to an offline interaction. For example, your box story, when you needed boxes, ultimately you had to go interact with someone to exchange the boxes, and now you know a new neighbor in your community. And we see that all the time.
You've also had some growing pains, like many tech companies. There have been some problems with racial profiling. Residents were posting urgent alerts, for example, about people of color in their neighborhoods. What have you done to address this?
Yeah, first, we were definitely shocked to see our platform being used in this way, and especially as a Bay Area native, hearing about communities in Oakland where we first became aware of this happening was a real shock to the system. But we worked together with these communities to redesign our product in a way that I think is almost unprecedented in technology, where we changed the product. So a few things that were really important to us were, number one, to make people aware of the fact that they were using descriptive text without the context around what actually was suspicious about the activity. So we introduced friction into the posting process to force people to be more specific about the circumstances under which they were posting, not to be purely describing people on the characteristics of their race without some additional context as to what was suspicious. A person, a person of color riding a bike in a neighborhood is not in and of itself worthy of putting out an urgent alert to all of your neighbors. But if they're casing the neighborhood or breaking into cars, now that's the descriptive text that accompanies it.
So then what kinds of posts, how do you regulate something like this, right? Because what about other kinds of posts that other people may find offensive, maybe concerning gender or religion? I mean, where do you draw the line?
Well, we expect through our community guidelines that neighborhood leads are responsible for sort of mandating the social decorum of the communities in which we land this product. So, you know, understanding that we are in 180,000 different neighborhoods across the country, the product takes on a lot of the identity of the communities in which you land it. And so there are, in some cases, local specific issues that need to be discussed, but need to be done with civil discourse in mind. And so our community guidelines, our neighborhood leads, and then we have a support team back at HQ that helps when those neighborhood leads feel like they're a little bit beyond their capability to handle things. But we try and self-moderate.
And in 10 seconds, are you making any money yet?
We are starting to earn revenue through sponsored posts, native feeds, native advertising in the feed and in our emails, and now with realtors as well.
Okay, took 8 years to get here, but
yeah,
congratulations
we're here.
on making some money.
Thank you so much.
Nextdoor co-founder Prakash Janakiraman, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can see more of that interview on kqed.org. Now you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.